Joe Biden is continuing his African-American outreach program. The last time we discussed something along these lines, he spoke to Charlemagne the God and told him that if you're not supporting me, you ain't black. That went over pretty well. So now Joe Biden's team decided it would be a wonderful idea to release a pro-Biden rap video on their YouTube channel. Let me show you some clips of it.
Yo, why you ain't been answering your phone? You know why I'm calling you. You have to vote. You know why I don't vote? Because as a black man, I just feel like there's no hope. Our president telling people to go back to China, taking the coronavirus as a joke. And that's the part that frightened me. When you choose a president, it's supposed to be a knockout. Then why this situation doesn't entice me? If you got the answers to get me out this dark path, my brother, enlighten me. We always telling each other to stay woke. That's why this time we gotta use our voice and you have to vote. The facts should show. Biden has a plan for African Americans. We're not dealing with your average Joe. I see the way you looking right now. You know exactly where I'm gonna go with this. For 4 years, we had Trump in office and we made the most of it. But we finally got somebody that could be in office, that can give us a chance to have home ownership. So you think because you brought me here that I'm just supposed to confide in Biden? What about the innocent blacks that get snatched out their vehicles just for riding? We don't even ask for much. All we do is ask for respect. Before they did what they did to George Floyd, this country had their foot on our neck. Now, do you understand why I'm upset? I feel you, because every time we throw the system an uppercut, all they give us in return is low blows. But Biden and Harris got a plan to outlaw the chokehold. It's inspiring. Donald Trump is the apprentice, but now it's our turn to do the firing and review everything before we hire him. Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin, say their damn names. The goal is to get Donald out of office and Trump his campaign. You know, before you actually called my phone, I honestly had no hope. But if Biden and Harris going to do exactly what you said, then I'm going to go vote.
This is another Pokemon go to the polls moment. Or like when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were put in some new video game. Then there were a bunch of articles written about it. Like, aren't they so cool? Aren't they so hip and with it? Oh, man. Oh, God damn it. You know, Michael Moore tweeted something the other day that was a picture that had like almost like election yard signs, but it had the names of all these innocent people who were killed by police officers. Like Breonna Taylor, for example, Philando Castile. And somebody responded to it and said, like, half these people died while Joe Biden was vice president. So, in other words, the idea is, like, if you're making this seem like, well, obviously this guy's going to fix this problem, why didn't he fix it when he was VP? What did they do on that front? They literally say in the rap, the best foot forward they could put is, oh, he's gonna ban the chokehold that I believe was already banned when was it Eric Gardner? I think it was Eric Gardner was choked out and killed. That's the best foot you could put forward, because he's not going to say the things that might actually get people to the polls, because he's not for them. Now, don't get it twisted, Biden's up big time in the polls, but he's up big time because he's taking from seniors and suburbanites. He's not up big time because, you know, he's doing so well among the young. So, you know, but even if they were rapping about stuff I liked, I still would be like, don't do this. This is like pandering. And what do I always say, guys? When they can't reach out on policy, they go cultural. They go symbolism. And they'll give away everything on symbolism because nothing hinges on it. So, but even if they were like rapping about Medicare for all, I'd be like, you don't have to do that. I just want the Medicare for all. I don't need you to like try to also say, hello, fellow kids, how do you do at the same time? Like, just give me the Medicare for all. So, but, you know, you'll notice if you go back and watch it, You only saw the beginning and the end. There's a part in the middle where they bring up money for HBCUs, and they bring up some things, but of course there's no Medicare for all, there's no free college, there's no eliminating student loan debt, there's no legalizing marijuana, because he's not in favor of legalizing marijuana, there's no freeing every nonviolent drug offender. You know, we forget he was one of the authors of the crime bill, so he helped create the mass incarceration state, and he's really not in favor of undoing the damage that was done. The way you undo the damage of that is to free every single nonviolent drug offender, pardon every single one you possibly can, and legalize marijuana. And he's not. Now, thankfully, recently they've come out for decriminalizing, which is better than nothing, but it's still a half measure. It's not full legalization. Legalization would be, you know, like you can go to the store and buy it and it's perfectly legal. Decriminalization does not mean that. It doesn't go that far. But it's just so cringy, man. Just so cringy. I always feel like they're stuck in like the late 90s permanently. You know what I mean? And that's not just strategically, even though it's also strategically, but it's in every way, ideology-wise too. They've never grown past the new Democrat era, the triangulation era, the corporate Democrat era, you know, where Bill Clinton came along and said, I'm not like the crazy lefties. I'm above the fray. I'm a centrist. I'm halfway in between the Republicans and the Democrats. You know, that's what triangulating is. And they've never outgrown that, ever. When the reality is, after George W. Bush, the country voted in Obama thinking he was going to be the next FDR. But instead, he was the next Bill Clinton. And so you still have this just like totally uninspired centrism. And because it's uninspired centrism, what do they have to do to try to get people to the polls? Embarrassing, condescending things like this. Because when you're not actually offering people, hey, I'm going to give everybody health care. Hey, I'm going to abolish all student loan debt. When you're not actually offering people something super tangible, you're going to fall back on cultural nonsense. Of course you are, because what else do you have? And so here we are. It's just so cringy, man. It's just, you know, and I'm not trying to single out Joe here either, to be fair, because I did see a video the other day of Trump's people doing the YMCA song, but it was MAGA, MAGA, and I was watching that just like, this is so cringy. And it's like, is this really all you dupes want? Like, everybody who falls for this stuff is just so up to their eyeballs in the culture war. And if you've gone down that path, I don't think people realize how ridiculous they look when, like, that's the majority of their focus in the political conversation, when it's the stupid culture war. You know, it's like if there was a country song made for Trump, a lot of the Trump people would love it, but it's like, really, this is all you idiots care about? So, doesn't bother you that he did the 2017 tax cuts for the rich, which 83% of the benefits went to the top 1%. It was great for billionaires and corporations, not so great for regular people. In fact, it's a net tax increase over 10 years for everybody who makes $75,000 a year or less. So he's robbing you blind. He's continuing the wars as he pretends like he's ending them. But as long as like there's a country song and he relates to you culturally and he triggers the libs, like then it's cool. It's like, come on, man. I need people to evolve a little bit on this. But to be fair, I do think most people, if given the option of something real, would take it. Would take it. And instead we get this. I seriously wonder how many black people, because that's what this is, they're trying to reach out to black people. How many black people will watch this and say, you know, I was on the fence. Now I'm sold on Joe. None of them. Absolutely none of them. Like, I literally think the answer is zero. Zero. So instead it's just embarrassing. Joe is so lucky that Trump is just turns everybody off these days, except that solid 35% chunk that he gets. But everybody else is just sick of it. So Joe's the beneficiary of just like a simple anti-Trump swing election. That's it. That's it. You can run a ham sandwich or any inanimate object against Trump. And it would win. It would win. But they're going to take all the wrong lessons and think they nailed it. And from now on, you know, if Joe wins massively, and it looks like he's going to as of right now, expect a lot more cringy rap videos for Democrats in the future. I will die when the Mayor Pete rap comes out.